Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Tanya-tastic Talks. Today I thought that we would talk about an interesting subject that I don't feel gets covered a lot of the time, which is how to be a friend to someone who has a chronic condition or an illness, or maybe who's lost someone in the family. This can apply to many different scenarios and situations. And I just thought it would be important to just talk about things that we can do to better engage with those that we care about who are dealing with painful things, that are dealing with life circumstances, and how we can be of help to them. So let's get this thing started. Number one, the question, how are you feeling?
Are you all right?
Absolutely fine.
This is a loaded question. Okay, for anyone who's experiencing difficulties, I know that this idea of like how are you and how are you feeling has become the new high, and it's become very casual in its approach, if that makes sense. However, for someone who's dealing with a lot, it's a very intense question to be able to ask, because it's like, okay, A, do you really care? B, are you just trying to like get the scoop on what's going on? C, if I am honest about what is happening in my life, will you listen or just change the subject? There's all these different things that go through our minds. I think a better question to ask would be, how can I be of help? How can I support you? I've had that question asked to me. I was taken aback, but then I was like, oh, this is like the question that I need. Like, this is way better than just, how are you feeling? Or like, how are your appointments going, or different things like that, because it gets very repetitive for us to always be saying the same thing. And especially, let's say, if we're not improving, it sucks for us, because it's like, well, I'm still having difficulty walking, or I'm still having difficulty with my face, different things like that. And it's not always the most uplifting thing that you're wanting to hear if you're the person asking the question. Number two, people with conditions just want to be accepted.
And thank you to all the people who love me exactly how God made me.
And that might be to you like, Tanya, that's so common sense. I know, but maybe for you, but not for everybody. I don't think everybody realizes this, that like we just want to be regarded like we were before we were sick, or before we received the diagnosis. Like, we are not looking to be treated any differently. We just want to be treated like normal. Like, that's really all we want. Just like you would want to be accepted if something is going on in your life, maybe you're stressed out at work, whatever. Well, you don't want people to treat you differently just because you're stressed out at work, right? We do feel a difference when we are treated as if there's something wrong with us. Let's just keep that at the back of our minds, that we just want to be accepted. Number three, you don't have to say anything.
Not saying anything.
You're saying something.
What I've noticed a lot over the last year, it'll be a year next week that I came down with all these health complications. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people are awkward around illness, and they just don't know what to say. And especially for illnesses that you have no idea what in the world they are. For those of us that are suffering, we do not expect you to say anything magical, to have the magical cure, to like, we really are not expecting that from you. So please don't be stressed out or feel any pressure that you need to say something that's going to lift us out of whatever. You don't have to say anything. We can go to our medical professionals if we have questions related to our health, and hopefully we do have medical professionals who are on our team and who are wanting to help us out. But we have people for that. We have people on forums, on Facebook, or on other websites that bring people together that have similar conditions. So please don't feel pressured to say anything, because that's not what we're looking for. And so I hope that relieves some stress on you and your mind when you are about to maybe visit someone and you're like, man, I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. it's okay. This leads into my next point. Number 4, allow the person who's affected to talk about things that are unrelated to their illness.
Nonsense. Let's talk.
Get them outside of that mind frame, because from personal experience, it's just very exhausting to always be talking about what it is that I'm going through, what it is that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. It's always fun to just be able to talk about a movie I saw, or a TV show I'm watching, or a book that I'm reading, or makeup that I bought. I know I mentioned that last video, but it's a reality for me. But it could be like something, a thought that you've been thinking of over the last number of months. Like, that's also, I think, that what we're looking for is just moments that we can be free, that we can feel free, forget that we're dealing with an illness. And I cherish those moments where I just forget that I'm dealing with everything that I'm dealing with, and I'm getting emotional. Okay, so but really it does mean a lot if people are just able to bring us outside of what we are living and what we are experiencing, because we have to battle a lot internally about different things, and yeah, it's just really valuable when we can find friends that are able to take us outside of that. Okay. Number 5, we may not be able to handle things like we did before.
You can't handle the truth!
So please just give us some grace. This is very broad, but for some of us that are sick, we may need to set up boundaries more so than we did before, meaning we may not be able to hear about, the neighbor that's always causing problems for you. We may not be able to be a listening ear for your issues. It really depends on the person. Perhaps like the visits can't extend to the whole evening. Maybe this, the person that you're visiting can only handle 2-3 hours. Maybe they can only handle half an hour. It's always important to ask, to be understanding and to be respectful, as you would a friend anyways. But I think even more so, it ties in with the acceptance thing. It ties into all these things that we're wanting to feel, because we haven't maybe felt that in a while, because sometimes our condition kind of robs us of those feelings. But we're just wanting to assert ourselves and know what we can handle, and we hope, I think, that you can be respectful of that and know that we are trying our best, and that we do need to focus and take care of ourselves, because if we don't, no one else will. If we don't take care of ourselves, then our symptoms escalate. And this goes for many different types of conditions. And lastly, number 6, don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, at least we can always count on you.
Sorry, Miss Ritter, won't happen again, I promise.
Don't make promises you can't keep, Mr. Parker.
We, as people who have conditions, we understand that your lives are busy. Ours are too, because of appointments and different things we have to go through, and medication we have to pick up at the pharmacy, physical rehab, the list goes on for us as well. And if you can't visit often, that is okay. I don't think any of us are expecting to get visits every day or even every week. Maybe it's only every month that you can spend half an hour. We're not looking for crazy visits for 4 hours, because I would be totally crashing. I'd have to, you would see in my face that it'll go sideways. So it's not that fun. If you can't visit, that's fine. Text us to check in. Every once in a while, that is going to be sufficient. It shouldn't be up to us to text you, even if you may not understand the condition that we have or what it is that we're exactly going through in our lives. It is nice to have someone checking in on us. We are in need. And so I think also to have that at the back of your minds when you're thinking about your friends who are dealing with things, we are in need. And honestly, a text just saying, hey, I'm thinking of you, is enough. That really is enough. So with that said, I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you can bring some of these thoughts to when you're visiting a friend who's in need, and for those of you that are dealing with conditions, I hope this helps maybe put into words maybe things that you've thought about over the last number of months or years for yourself and the friends that you would like to have around you. Yeah, that's what I have for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Whenever you are watching this, feel free to subscribe right down there. And if you like this video, please give it a like right down there as well. All right, I'll talk to you soon. See you.
Friends, how many of us have